All right, what's up, folks? We are back again with another episode of Limitless Mindset Podcast. And this week, I've got another guest on. As always, I have Jack Gilmore from, tell him where you're from, sir.
Mutual of Omaha Mortgage.
Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. That shit sounds crazy, but that's not why you're here. You're here because I have known you for a little while. I've known you since you kind of got started in the game.
Yeah.
And you started out, remind me, you started out as an agent or a wholesaler?
Agent with you.
You were an agent with us. I know that. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Jared Gronga.
That's right.
Jared
That's
Gronga.
right. That's right.
I was looking at getting my real estate license after I had my gym, and Jared's like, "Oh, dude, you come over here. You start out without your license." And I was like, "How do I do that?" And then that was when we had the ISA team.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I started doing ISA with you. And he was like, hey, you can make $20 an appointment you book. And never been on the phones before, never anything. So, and then Jared helped me out, and that was it, man. And we...
So you came, now I remember now you're fresh on my memory. So you came over, you owned a gym?
Yeah.
So you used to own a gym, got out that game.
Yeah, hated it.
Came here, and then started on the ISA team, right back when we had Bruno and them doing the ISA stuff, and you were getting paid per appointment.
Yeah, I remember you came in, you were like, who's this Jack kid that's just booked 40 appointments this week?
That's right. So you started crushing the phone game, and then you got your real estate license.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then you were a realtor with us.
Yep. And
then you went somewhere else.
Yeah, a couple of places.
You bounced around in that game, but you were doing wholesaling for a little bit.
Yeah, so I always, so when I became a realtor, it was always never to just be a transactional real estate agent. It was always to get my foot in the door, build that network, to then do the investment side of real estate. So I knew, similar to probably a lot of people, I knew that getting my license was a way in the door to do that. So that's why I got my license. So.
Got it. So you got the license for the education to get in the door.
Yeah.
So kind of just get to the, it's a stepping stone.
Yep.
It was a stepping stone.
And I realized, obviously, you know, it was all a learning experience where you can't just get in the game and then start flipping houses. You need capital to have capital, or to access capital yourself.
Correct.
So that's where I was like, oh shit, like I need to figure it out. So I started, different strategies. I started figuring out what I like to do. I figured out I don't want to work with buyers. I don't want to target, sellers and all that. And so I started.
So now fast forward, now you're at Bank of
Mutual
Omaha. That shit's crazy long.
Yeah.
But now you're at Bank of Mutual Omaha, and we talk all the time, but you had a killer last year, right?
Yeah.
Or a killer few months last year or this year. When were you, like, what did you take away from those years of inside sales, real estate agent, wholesaling, and how is it transferred into you being successful in the mortgage game?
Oh, a lot. And it's all phone work and discipline. Right. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's, like, when I was becoming a realtor and trying to build up my active income that way, I learned about going through buyers. I learned about different systems with dialers, with targeting now listings and going that route. Hey, I don't want to do just residential. I want to transfer into, commercial multis. And actually that made my year last year. Was I sold a 12-unit building in Johnson, Elm Street, and I made a $40,000 check from last year, and that was kind of my stepping stone into, like, hey, like, holy shit, like, this is all possible, and there's, like...
So you did that while you were doing mortgages or no?
So the timeline is I was a realtor for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really care for it. I didn't like it. I didn't want it to be my active income stream. But because I was still doing the work, and that's a lot of it too, is discipline.
Yeah.
You got to do the work even though you don't want to do it, because that's what will create you to where you want to go. So I was doing the work when I didn't want to do the work. And that work, as we know, it's like a 3 to 6 month, maybe 9 month a year return. And that was cycling as I was in that position of going into the mortgage industry.
Oh, so that was at the tail end. So you did that at the tail end, then you went to the mortgage game.
Yep. So that check
helps you
that
propel.
Helped me propel to where I'm going with the mortgages, where I can then deploy it into this marketing, deploy it into that. And
so what do you do for them? So are you doing more like cash out refis? Are you chasing the refi game? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's all we do is cash out refis. That's
All
all
right,
our
so
branch
that's your
does.
whole
Yeah.
game is hit the phones,
Yep.
hammer the phones,
Yep.
find people throughout the country with a bunch of equity,
Yep.
and help them refinance and cash out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I kind of implemented, so where that leads me is when I was a realtor, I also dipped into wholesaling a little bit to make more active income because I didn't like being a realtor. That was my thing. I was a realtor and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that was just me. You know, people have different opinions,
Yeah,
but I didn't like you, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't like that. So while I was doing it, I was wholesaling and I learned, you know, the strategies of wholesaling by pulling lists and all that. And now I implement that to the refis. It's like, hey, you can pull a high equity list, owner occupied, high interest rate, you know, even if they're in divorce, all this stuff to help these people out of their situation. So not only does our branch at Mutual of Omaha get leads, I also implement those strategies.
So you still get your own stuff.
Yeah,
So
so
you
I
go
still
ahead.
source
You're
my
still
own.
sourcing leads through those
Yeah.
lists.
Yep.
Are you buying a list or you get them?
Yeah, so I use PropStream.
You,
and then
you do.
Yep, and I'll put
Even
it
on that game.
Yep, I'll put it into Versium because PropStream has mortgage information.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you can see the balances, right? You can see the mortgage
Exactly.
balance.
Yep. Not
So-
always accurate, but they're still
At least it's
close
there.
enough.
At least it's there. So you're hitting that game. So you're saying, okay, let me take what I learned in wholesaling. Let me hammer the
Yep.
phones. How many phone calls you making a day?
Over 100.
100 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
What's your
And
odds?
that's-
What's your rate of actually connecting with somebody?
So like usually 5% contact is
So you're
like,
making five connections a day.
Yeah.
Out of the 5 connections a day, how many are signing up for refis?
at least one. At least one
So
or
you're
two.
doing 30 deals a month.
No. because
what
they
the
don't-
fuck math are you doing?
They don't always play out. So that's those 5 contacts, you know, you might disclose like one of those loans and then something happens, they fall out.
Mm-hmm. How
or
often
they
does it
don't
fall out?
qualify.
A lot.
Well, you know what the problem that we're seeing is a lot of the time is that these people, because consumer debt right now is higher than mortgage debt. It's the first
Consumer
time it's
debt's
ever
crazy.
Yeah, first time it's ever
Consumer
happened.
debt. You listen right now. Consumer debt is wild right now. Unfortunately, the American consumer has way too much debt, and with that is going to be what I consider the next leg, which is a massive cash out refinance opportunity when rates go down.
Yep.
After that happens, there's no more levers to pull. We're fucked.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's very simple, right? So if you look at it right now, you got consumer debt at an all-time high.
Yep.
You have non-performing loans for FHA. Do you see that number?
No, what was
Close to like 10%. So you got
So it's the
non-performing loans really high. You've got super high consumer debt. The saving grace is you got high equity. So majority of people got high equity.
Yep.
So what that means is these people are going to have no choice but to pull some of the equity out through a cash out refinance. But that's only going to last so long.
Exactly.
At some point, they either sell, downsize, upsize, whatever, or they're going to lose the property.
Yeah.
So that's when people are like, when are you going to see a crash? It's probably going to be 2 to 4 years from now when you start to see that. Because you get a cash out refi, they can live off of that for a little bit, right? People could probably live off of that money for a little bit.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, you know.
I'm sure
it's
people
crazy,
can
yeah.
blow through it quick, but
Yeah.
some people can live a
But
year
yeah.
or two off of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
right? So you get 2 years, and now you say, what's left? I got no more
Yeah.
equity.
Yep.
I can't refinance.
Yep.
I have no choice but to sell. And
Yeah.
if the markets come down, now you're selling lower than what your house is worth. So you're doing
Yeah.
a short sale.
Yep.
So on your
It's
end, you probably got a good run here of the next 2 to 5 years of catching people on cash out refis.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a choice.
Yep.
And helping them get out of a bad situation. Hopefully they're smart enough to not blow the money.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, we're in a lot of scenarios we're saving these people $1,000, $2,000 a month because
Right.
their credit card debt is at 25, 30% interest, and there's so much of it, and a lot of the times it goes back to what you said about the numbers. It doesn't really add up. And it's because these people it's too late. It's unfortunate where we do the softball on their credit. They've been late on their mortgage 100
So
times.
they can't even get
It's
the-
bad. Yeah, it's sad.
So
Sad.
that's a different situation. So now it's too late where their credit's shot,
Yeah, they can't do much.
their credit card debt is too high.
Yep.
They need to cash out refi, but they can't do it.
Yep.
So are there any options for them?
There's pretty much nothing with their equity because then HE loans and HELOCs are even stricter, obviously. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're in
you're not
second
getting
position.
that.
So
No chance.
pretty much their only option is bankruptcy or debt consolidation programs, which those destroy your credit for at least.
So let's talk about that. You make 100 calls. You land 5 people that you talk
Yeah.
to. You may get one
Yeah.
application a day. How many people you think are in that situation?
80%.
You're lying.
No,
Get
it's
the
high.
fuck out of here.
It's bad. It's
Guys,
bad.
you got to listen to this. So
bad.
80% of the people that you're calling the whole country.
Yeah, we do.
Or what states you
Not
focused?
the whole country. New England, like Mass, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
So you just mostly New England?
No, we do a lot of Florida, a lot of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, pretty much the whole East Coast, and then a little bit of like Michigan, Missouri, Alabama.
All right,
So
but
we
there's
do-
a good sample size of who's out there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
80% of people can't even get the cash out refinance.
Based on what we're seeing with applications, and you can filter out those leads that we get in as a branch, and our filters are set pretty high. I mean,
So that's already filtering out
Yeah.
the tough ones.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah. So we experimented actually a little bit the last couple of weeks where we lowered the FICO scores on our leads like 20, because you think about it. You put in, these people put in because they're warm leads from PPOs.
Yeah.
Or PPCs, right?
Yeah, PPC.
Yeah. Where we're setting these FICO scores, say 640, but these people are really putting in as their FICO as like, say
700.
we want 640, but we'll get back 580 to 600 because you know they don't know.
They're doing what they think.
Yeah.
So they're putting in. So you got to factor that in too. Someone puts
Yeah.
in a 700, they're probably a 640.
Yeah.
Right, or 650, whatever.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So that's why, like, me consistently is closing like anywhere from 3 to 5 loans a month out of all those contacts and all
That's
that.
a lot of work.
So yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
It is. Yeah.
So what do you say to somebody right now? They're trying to get in the mortgage game. They're like, I don't know if I should go for a refi shop. I don't know if I should go for a purchase shop. I don't know if I should be part of a team. Like,
Yeah.
what would you tell someone? You're young. How old are
There's
you? You're
23.
young.
23. Yeah.
Who's 23 years old?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you're
Yeah.
23. You're as young as it comes. So
Yeah.
you got another 21-year-old kid. He's like, I want to get into mortgages. What are you saying
Yeah.
to him?
Do refis first because you'll learn the phones, you'll learn the processing, you'll learn some of the underwriting, you'll learn the whole process step by step, and then once you're like, hey, the refi market's over, the rates are now going up again, or wherever the market goes, because like we said last year, we were all saying it. If I had $1 million to bet that the rates right now would be like 4 or 5%, and we'd be in a little refinance boom, we would have lost $1 million.
Correct.
So we don't really know, but get into refis at first. You learn it, and then you then decide, hey, where do I see my career going as a loan officer? But when you're brand new, it's hard to see that. It's hard.
I'm going to hit
to
another
see.
angle from that I think you missed. Get into refis first because you can practice on deadlines and dates on a refinance
Yeah.
when you don't got to deal with an agent up your ass
Yeah.
or a timeline or a deadline because you can't be missing dates. Like
Yeah.
commitment letter and closing on a refi
yeah.
is who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
That's the thing with refis a little bit is you kind of throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
Exactly.
And it's
It
like-
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have a buyer's agent, a seller's
Yeah.
agent. You don't have a appraiser. You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an appraiser, but you're not dealing with all the same nonsense
No,
that
yeah.
we've got to deal with.
Yeah.
So if you're newer and you come in the game on the purchase side and you don't know what you're doing, you could lose real fast.
Oh, yeah.
You could lose credibility within
And
a couple.
especially when you're focused in certain markets as purchase, you can't be all over the country unless you're
Correct.
bringing in leads or have other realtors in other markets. But yeah, with that, I mean, you do a few bad deals. I mean, it
You're
spreads like
fucked.
a wildfire.
Yeah, you do a few bad deals, no one's going to want to work with you.
Yeah.
So again, we ask everybody the same question. So on the name of the podcast, Limitless Mindset, what does that mean to you?
Limitless mindset. I love that.
What does it mean to you?
I love it.
I'm sure you fucking love it. What does it mean
Yeah,
to you?
I love it. So to me, that's just always thinking bigger. Always thinking bigger, but with that, you have to learn how to be grateful and have faith and stay present with where you're at. And just have that in the back of your head that, hey, here's where I want to go, here's where I'm going, but I need to focus on the journey, stay present, because I know that the way that I think limitlessly, it will come. But
That's crazy for a 23-year-old,
yeah,
to be honest.
so that's what
23, I wasn't thinking nothing like that.
Yeah, because it will affect you worse than
100%.
you can ever imagine. That's kind of what I've been going through, and that's what I've experienced over the last 2 years, and I've grown spiritually from trying this, trying that. Hey, like shiny object syndrome. You're like,
Oh,
hey, I have
dude,
a
I
better
got
offer
the
here.
worst of it, bro. I got the
Yeah.
worst. I used to have I still got it, but not as
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Fucking shiny object syndrome is real.
Yeah.
You want to do this? Oh, I got to do that. This is better.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Yep.
Let me try this. And
It's
guess
bad.
what? After 3 years of doing a bunch of bullshit, I circled right back to be
Yeah.
a real estate agent that owns a brokerage.
Yep.
Because that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
To me, like, that's my bread and butter. Why I got away from it? Because I got bored and it's like when Jordan went to play baseball.
Yep.
He was bored, whatever you want to say for whatever he did it for. He was bored of basketball. It was too easy for him.
Yeah.
So he went to play baseball. Then he was like, fuck this. I'm coming back and I'm going to kill basketball again.
Yeah. Because as humans, we have that natural instinct when it gets too easy, we're bored. And then
100%.
also when it gets too hard, though, too.
When it gets too hard, we give up and it's boring.
Yep.
Right. So I think, you talking to a younger LO, I think that was good advice. Now, where are you going to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Me, I want to be the best branch manager in New England. I'm going to be the best branch manager in New England.
Refi shop or purchase?
Both.
You want
Mix
to
of
run both?
Yeah, have a mix of both.
Possible?
So,
who else is doing that here?
Possible.
Anybody else doing refi and purchase?
Nobody I know. I know Loan Depot has a little. I think their branch in Cranston does a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much heavy on refi. I think they might only have one or two guys in there. But yeah,
Why
I
do you think people don't do both? Because I don't see it. I don't know why they don't do it, though. It makes no sense.
See, I don't know. I'm still new to the mortgage game. I was a realtor for a year and a half, and then at that half a year, I transitioned into mortgages, and it's been a full year now, as of March. So, yeah, full year. So I'm still learning as well, like everybody else, but I have other experiences from realtor and wholesale, and so I understand the outside game a little bit rather than a refi shop. But to me, I don't know why either. Maybe they are doing it, and we just don't know because
don't
it's
know.
more of an insider thing.
How many people?
But-
How many times? Because you're young, right? How
Yeah.
many times does it come up? Like, oh man, are you a young kid? Like, does that ever come up? Your
No.
age with clients?
Never.
Well, because they never see you.
Never. Yeah.
So they have no idea who you are.
Yeah, but you just got to know what you're doing and be confident. You
Correct.
fake it till you make it. You just got to be so confident that they won't even question you. They tell
Correct.
you, hey, you're. I had somebody yesterday. This guy, he spoke to another LO. The other LO didn't mess it up, but he was kind of like in and out, and I had to help him with the situation. And the guy said to me yesterday, he goes, "You sound really sharp." And so
Right.
I didn't. Not so much that it was something that I really had to know what I was talking about, but it's just how you communicate.
You're
and how
confident.
Yeah,
Super confident.
yeah, and you got to be, and they won't question it.
No question. Because you know more than them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
know it better than they know it. So you got more. You should have more confidence.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that don't have the confidence, and I think
Yeah.
that's where it fucks up. Is when you have someone that doesn't have the confidence, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard to sell any product when you're not confident.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't so much have to believe in it, so to say.
You
which
don't have to be the best. You don't have
yeah.
to believe in it, but you got to be confident in what you're selling.
Yeah, exactly.
What else
So,
you got? Anything for me?
No, I don't have any. Well, where do you see? Because I know you're. I don't know if
What?
we could talk about that.
We
but
can talk about what. Go ahead.
where you're at with mortgages. I know you started.
Oh no, so we do so we've got a non-operating branch manager, and we're running a branch right now, and we've got two LOs. One is focusing on ADUs and tiny homes.
Wow.
And one is focusing on purchase business, and to me it's a crash course in running a mortgage division.
Yeah.
And to your point of being a branch manager, I wanted to learn how the economics work. A loan comes in, what does that look like?
Yeah.
What's that P&L look like?
Yep.
Right? How does each loan factor in?
Yep.
What's that profit margin? How can we put something together where buyers can come and have a one-stop shop? They get the agent, they get the lender, and they get the close. And how can we do it at the least cost for the buyer?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's what we're looking at right now. How can we make that happen? So I like it. I want to get more on the refi side too. So we're learning that end. And then we'll get a refi person, purchase person, and the ADU side, and we'll be good to rock and roll.
Wow.
And then we'll just grow it. Like anything I do, I ain't staying
anything.
still.
Yeah.
We're going to keep growing, man.
Yeah, you got 9 businesses right now that.
We got a bunch. Yeah, we got a bunch. We're trying to simplify some stuff, but we've got a cannabis store in Blackstone, Choice Cannabis, which is doing phenomenal. We got the ADU, the Any Tiny Homes, which is doing well.
Yeah.
The brokerage.
Yeah.
We've got My Sales. We've got the development side. We've got the buying holds that we're doing. We got the flipping, and then we got the big chicken stuff that we're running right now.
Yeah.
So we're running in a lot of in the mortgage. So we're running in Limitless Capital. There's the 9. So we're running in a lot of directions. But what I'm trying to do is bring everything real estate related. Anything that's not real estate related, I'm not touching it right now.
Not anymore. Yeah.
I'm staying right in my lane, and we're lending. We're doing mortgages. We're doing brokerage. We're doing sales. We're doing flips. We're doing development. So just keep growing, man.
Yeah, and that's what you learn over your 10 years of business is you just gotta, you know what you're good at and you know what you're confident in and you run with that.
If you learned anything from me from today, it would be stay with what you know.
Yeah.
People told me it a million times, and they were like, you gotta stick with what you know. Don't start venturing off. And I'm like, yeah. And I lost a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Because you can't control it. I have a partner. That partner's a specialist. Boom. We opened a pawn shop, PAWN. This guy was supposed to be a phenomenal operator of a pawnbroker. This was like 5 years ago. This shit we didn't do anything. We were terrible.
Really?
It was awful.
See, I didn't
It was
even
the
know that.
fastest 250K I ever lost in my. It was awful.
Oh my God.
Awful. And the guy was doing some crazy stuff, which I can't even get into. But it was just like a situation where I don't know the game. I trusted he was going to take care of us.
Yeah.
And he was just doing stupid things.
That's funny.
Funny. Really funny.
Yeah, but
So-
that's what you get. I'm not saying that's what you get, but that's what
That is what you get if
That's
you
what
don't-
happens when you
don't know.
Yeah.
You get taken advantage of because I don't have time to go there and babysit all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So everybody's like, oh, it's really cool. No, is it really cool? Was that cool? That
Yeah.
shit wasn't cool.
Yeah, that's
a
what
terrible
happens.
lesson.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying back from the beginning, where you just gotta have faith and stay disciplined and focus on that one thing, and just know that if you have that limitless vision towards it every day,
Correct.
that it's gonna come.
100%.
You just gotta focus.
And my last 6 months, I'm like the most focused I've ever been, and the stuff I'm focusing on is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, and it
We're
does.
going to be in such a good spot in the next 12 months. It's crazy.
Yeah,
You know, from where we are today to where I'm going to be in December, thank God and be grateful, and I'm excited and pumped up about it. But it happened with massive focus, massive action, and massive focus. Those two things.
that's what it takes.
Yes, sir.
And I'm learning that, and I didn't know that. My
No, and
first
you're
2
learning,
years,
and
yeah.
you got plenty of time, bro. You're still
Yeah.
young, still a kid. Like, you got plenty of time to learn it, but you're ahead of everybody. Even though you're young, your mental space is ahead of a lot of people my age. I'm 42. I'm way older than you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, you're in a
But it
different
takes-
spot. So I think people need to understand, like, it's not about age. It's about wisdom, understanding, spirituality. All that stuff factors in.
Yeah.
And you already got it.
Yeah.
Now you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Your key is to not quit.
Yep.
You just can't stop. You're going to have terrible months, great months, good months, bad months, indifferent months. Just keep going.
Yeah, you just can't give up.
Just keep
Just
fucking
focus
going.
on one thing. Yep.
The only time you lose is when you stop. Mm-hmm. If you don't fucking stop, you don't lose.
Yeah, because and then you get these thoughts in your head too, like, hey, if I just understood that this is what it took to be a realtor, even though I didn't truly love it, because I don't believe in that you have to truly love something that you're doing to
Agreed.
be good. So I think about it sometimes. It's like, hey, if I just took what I know now as I'm developed as a human and put it into being a realtor and selling those big multifamily
would
buildings,
define.
like where would I be now? But you can't, and that's the shit that gets in your head, but you just gotta stay focused,
the
stay
course,
present
bro.
on where you're at.
Stay the course.
Yep.
Stay the course. Don't go backwards.
Yeah.
Stay forward looking. And I think one thing you said, and we'll end on this, you mentioned stay present.
Yeah.
And if you ever watched the Jordan documentary or anything on Tom Brady, the two biggest things that everybody said about those two guys is that they were always present. And being present is invaluable.
Yeah.
There's no price tag you could put on if you can actually be present.
Yeah.
So I think if you keep that mentality, man, you're going to go out there and keep crushing it. Guys, another episode, Limitless Mindset. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in and watching.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome, sir.